Morning. Afternoon, really. I am on almost the top of White Top Mountain, which is in Virginia, in the Iron Mountains, very far southwestern corner. Probably the highest point you can drive to in Virginia. I was headed for Mount Rogers, which is, I think, 5,729 feet. And I got fairly close. That's the highest point in Virginia, and turns out that the shortest hike that's going to get me there is 7 or 8 miles round trip, which is not too bad, but I was trying to get a lot of stuff done today, especially since Adam called me first thing and said that chunks of my route across Tennessee and Arkansas have been washed out, which is news to me because I'm out here and, you know, wherever I am, and I don't hear about things like floods and whatnot. So trying to make some time. So Mount Rogers is over yonder. Behind me, I don't know the name of this valley. This is White Top Mountain, though. I'm almost at the top, as I mentioned. I was getting more and more excited coming up here, seeing how high you get and how high I'm getting, and getting closer and closer, and then I actually got to the top, which was a major buzzkill because it was basically a whole bunch of antennas and whatnot, and a porta potty. Big fenced-in area, can't get there, but I'm pretty high up. This is probably, like I said, about the highest you can drive in Virginia. It's about 5,500 feet or thereabouts. Beautiful view. I'm going to take this camera, walk around a little bit. You will notice that I'm wearing a hat and I'm a little bit shiny. It's because I've been actually, I wasn't going to do this, but I had to wait around for the cooling fan to shut off, because that thing ran for about 15 minutes. Just because, you know, the air's a little bit thinner up here. It takes a little longer to cool off after I shut the car off. So, copper tone. Been lathering up. Okay, class, so who knows why it's easier to burn when you're higher up? It's because you're closer to the sun. You know, same reason that the old Cheerios on the edge of the bowl dry before the ones in the middle. Actually, that's not true. There's just a little bit less air up here. You know, once you're above 5,000 feet, the atmosphere starts to thin out rapidly, as I'm sure most people know. So, I didn't used to have this problem about getting sunburned on the top of my head. My little 40-year-old tonsure. Oh wow, there's another car here. Holy crap. It's like a park ranger or something, way down there. So anyway, hence the hat and the lotion. So, just to take a quick look around, this is truly gorgeous country. Let me pull this off of here. Tripod. Gorilla pod. So basically, as you can see, there's a lot of conifers up here. Looks like some larch, maybe. Little hemlocks, stuff like that. Trees are in fairly good shape. Not a lot of deciduous. The ones that I did pass on the way up were basically just barely starting to leaf out. They fit. Back home, they're in full foliage, but it's a little bit windy, and we have just as many dandelions here as we do everywhere else I've seen. Let's see if I can get a little bit of a zoom here. So down here, oh, and up there's some box. I don't know what this thing is. There used to, back in the 30s, they had a music festival here. I guess it was a pretty big deal. I don't think that had anything to do with it, but there was some concrete box up there. I explored it. There's nothing going on there. It looks like maybe an old, to the right there's a bit of a, looks like an antenna foundation or something. There's a little box on top of a big box, and there's nothing in either of them. But down yonder is there's a fire site that somebody had. And also there's the Laurel Valley, I believe it's called, which is what I drove through on the way here. I'm actually headed southwards right now. I'm going to drop down into North Carolina. We're right on the border. I mean, these mountains you see out that way are all in North Carolina, and I'm thinking, I don't know if I'm in a good location to see from here, but probably just behind this stand of trees, I'm guessing you should be able to see the Smokies. Like I said, we're in the Iron Mountains here, and I'm thinking, yeah, the very, very most distant, let me see if I can zoom in on it from here at all. I think that's about as much as it's going to go. Yeah, the most distant mountains you see on the very horizon over the closer ranges are the Great Smoky Mountains, and that's where I'm hoping to end up today. I've come a little over 900 miles. So far, so good. Everything's going great. I stayed at a hotel last night. Didn't really mean to stay at a hotel last night. You know, I was going to camp, but it just didn't work out with the timing and whatnot, and I wasn't able to find a place to set up shop. So, put this back where I found it, and it was a nice hotel. It was expensive. Still I'm gonna hopefully camp tonight, save some money. So, I think basically that's it, and I'm gonna hit the road and take a couple pictures, you know, hit the road and hopefully end up in the Smokies tonight. Tomorrow night maybe Little Rock. So I'm not anywhere. I'm going to be uploading stuff most likely, but you'll probably hear this all at once. So if I can reach it, I can't reach it. So I'll just come over here and sign off and leave you with this nice, lovely mountain vista. Hello. Okay, I don't usually do this because there's a chance of me breaking my neck, but this is really cool. I'm here at the Lynn Cove Viaduct, and on the Blue Ridge Parkway near Linville, North Carolina. Give you a look of it. And as you can see, it's this kind of curved bridge that is suspended over the rock field. Grandfather Mountain is this big edifice behind me that you can't really see too well, and there's this huge boulder field at the base of it. And the idea was to do a computer design thing, speaking of boulders, to do a computer design thing that would preserve the natural environment as well as possible. Now, there's a parking area at the end where you can look at it from. It's architecturally unique from in this country, so it's pretty cool. And you can see the pictures later. But the path, there's a sign that says viewing platform 847 feet. Well, the 847 feet is probably about right, but they don't mention what kind of terrain you have to go through. And this is the trail. I'm about halfway. I've already been to the end and back, so I got all my cool shots. But let me see if I can just take a quick jog here. Easier said than done, because again, it's very rugged, and you know, I'm almost a mile up, so you get winded a little more easily. But let's check this out and stop talking for a minute. Okay, that wasn't nearly as impressive as I hoped. Well, I guess I missed most of the rocky stuff, but you get the idea. But yeah, this is amazing. It's a remarkable bridge. I'm going to head back to the car, and I'm going to hit the road, and I don't know. Next notable milestone, I guess, is Mount Mitchell. So maybe I'll talk to you there. There you have it, folks. Mount Mitchell, 6,684 feet, highest point east of the Mississippi River. And actually, I was going to do some clever zoom thing with this sign down here, but it wouldn't let me zoom back out rather, once I had started filming. So down there is the high point, right about there. So I figure I'm actually about 6,700 feet where I'm standing on this little tower. So you are looking at the tallest thing on land east of the Mississippi. How about that? Well, I walked up here. It's beautiful out, you know, it's maybe 60 degrees, a little bit breezy. The parking area, you probably can't see it, but the car is just, oh, there's another car there now. Just in those trees. I can't even see it. Right about straight ahead there. But just behind those trees, and there's this trail that comes up. Right now, I am the only one here. I was completely the only one here when I got here. That car just arrived. So this is what makes it all worthwhile. You know, with the exception of the wind, what really gets me is how remarkably quiet it is. I mean, you can hear some birds. I hear a plane in the distance right now, but it's really just amazing, especially when you've been driving for a couple of days straight, you know. It's just good for the soul. So I think what I'm going to do is drive down there. I think that's what I'm looking at. Let's see. That building right there, I believe, is a restaurant. And assuming they're still open, it's, I don't know what time it is. I think it's around 7 o'clock. I know the timestamp's going to be wrong on this video, but I think they have dinner until the park closes at 9, or at least shortly before that. So I'm going to go check it out. Maybe get some food, get a view, then head off to the Smokies and set up camp for the night.
Okay, so I'm in a motel for the second night in a row. I'm in Asheville, North Carolina. I came down here, spent the whole day on the Blue Ridge Parkway. It was beautiful, gorgeous. Assuming by this time you'll have seen my video of the Mount Mitchell. That was cool. I was going to eat there. They have a restaurant there that unfortunately they close at 8. What I should have done is eaten first, then gone to the summit, maybe watch the sunset from there and then come back. But I did my thing up there. I got there like 8:03, so they were closed. So I came, had a beautiful, lovely ride down on the Parkway, listening to some folk music and stuff. You know, watching it getting darker and darker, and I just kind of had a craving for meatloaf. You know, just like some meatloaf, something like that, something earthy and maybe kind of southern. So I came into town, and I went. Rather than go around on the interstate, I went right through on the main drag. You would think they have at least one 24-hour diner or a late-night diner or something like that. Who the hell would call me? Anyway, They don't. It's freaking. They got nothing but like Chinese food places and coffee shops, and one hot dog stand that was infested with every high school student in Western North Carolina, as far as I could tell. So, but like fucking Chinese food and stuff, unbelievable. I don't want Chinese food. I wanted meatloaf. It's the South. Not even a Cracker Barrel. I found eventually Cracker Barrel. By that time, they were closed. Damn hippies. Anyway, so I ended up finding a Waffle House. I drove around Asheville, which is, I seriously probably drove around for like almost an hour and looking for food. My plan was get some food, go drive to the Smokies, which is like another hour almost, set up my tent and camp there, right? It's kind of like what I was going to do last night, but I ended up staying in a somewhat nice motel because it was too late and for various reasons my camping plans went astray. I ended up spending like $90 last night after the AAA discount with tax and everything. So, anyway, Asheville has like 9 freeways, all of which overlap, some of which are future something or other, and it's just ridiculously confusing. They have a ginormous wasteland called West Asheville where there's nothing, and it's just very sketchy. Finally, I was able to find a Waffle House when I failed at the Cracker Barrel across the street because they closed at 10, and by the time I got there it was 10:03. So whatever. I found a Waffle House that was just perfect. There was some frumpy little middle-aged woman working there. Said, "Just 1 second, baby. I'll be right with you." You know. So, and she was just cool and no nonsense, in out. You know. Cheap food. I got chopped steak, which is basically, for you non-Southerners, it's kind of like Salisbury steak. You just mash up a bunch of steak parts and grill them up, throw a bunch of sautéed onions and grilled mushrooms and American cheese, and just make it nasty, greasy. They give me Texas toast. It's perfect hash browns, you know. So I ate that. And I came up the street and there's like a Red Roof Inn, there's a Best Western, there's some nice-ish hotels. Quality, and so I'm like, no, not 2 nights in a row. So I ended up going up the street because just the thought of setting up a tent again in the pitch blackness after midnight and then having to do it all again in the morning and hit the road is just, I was just beat. I was tired as hell. So here I come down the road and I see the Whispering Pines Motel, and it has a big yes on the sign in neon. So I'm like, that's the place for me. I go in, it's very basic, institutional, and this is my room. This is my palace. So if you, let me see if you can see this up on the wall behind me there. This is what kind of a place this is. The wiring is on the outside of the walls. That there. That is a, whoops. I forgot the image is reversed on this. That's the cable wire you see going along the ceiling. I think that's what that is. Might have something to do with, I don't know what that is. Anyway, I think that's the cable. So there's that. Got a microwave. Got a little TV. Very institutional. The refrigerator works, which is nice. I didn't even have a fridge in my last place, even though it cost me twice as much. Big chunks out of the wall, you know. Like I said, very institutional looking. Big diesel air conditioner. It's already like 20 degrees in here. Kelvin. And the bathroom, of course, basic. It's very, very basic. I'm actually kind of surprised there's a shower head. I had a place like this in Philly one time when I was about 19. It just had a pipe coming out of the wall with rusticles on it. Anyway, that's my place. It's kind of exactly what I wanted. Stucco. Oh, look, there's a fist print in that wall over there that's been badly plastered over. That's nice. Okay. Well, that's about it. My car's out in the parking lot. I have one neighbor. I'm in the last unit, but I do kind of expect to find him rummaging through the rest of my stuff, so I gotta go bring everything in. Hit the sack. Maybe. And I don't know how I'm getting internet. I have full, like, 4 bars of internet here. I don't know how that happened. It's like something calm. It's not this hotel. This hotel has a secured wireless, which is like very weak. This is an unsecured connection, no password or anything. 4 bars. I don't know where it's coming from. I don't particularly care. I'm going to make use of it. So tomorrow it's off to the Smokies, and then driving day. I'm going to head west and hopefully end up somewhere around... oh, and that was Becky that texted me just now, so I'm going to see what she wants. But yeah, end up in Arkansas, and then the next day in Texas. So, good night.